Oh, come on.
Oh, wow, what a welcome.
You okay?
This is Maria Tran, an international action star who grew up on the mean streets of Brisbane. Actually, it was the quite nice suburbs of Brisbane.
I remember every family gathering, you know, someone would get out a VHS tape and they'd be like, this is Inner Line of Duty, Part 7. You know, it's just about the underdogs catching the bad guys or winning the day. And that was the same plight that a lot of migrants and refugees were feeling at that time, that they're trying to fit in and they're trying to work hard and they're trying to make ends meet and they want to win the day.
Is it true that your family used to have a fish and chip shop down the road from Pauline Hanson's?
12 minutes away from hers. But we didn't know her at the time. I remember growing up and they just wanted to make the best fish and chip store. Parents came to Australia, you know, as a refugee, you know, during the 80s. And they wanted to do something that they felt that they were part of a country, a new country.
Do you have an understanding of the journey they made?
My parents wouldn't connect with me when it came to their journey. Like for my mum, she would escape by boat like something along the lines of 9 times. She was jailed 9 times. My dad was in jail for like re-education camp for 7 years. There was this expectation of our journey was hard. You know, you should be happy to be here. You should be happy that you now have this, but they're not really knowing the why.
Did you face racism growing up?
Yeah, I actually started martial arts because I was bullied in school. But the thing is, growing up, when I experienced racism, I didn't know that was a term. I didn't even know. I just thought people didn't like me. They gave me a name and they called me Chink.
Oh.
But at that time, when I remembered being given that name, I just felt, wow, it's the first time they're speaking to me. Went home and I told my dad, and my dad was pretty proud. He was like, oh, and there was a large family gathering.
Oh, he didn't know either.
He didn't know, so he went, everyone, you know, my daughter has friends. They call her Chink, and everyone was like, Chink, Chink. I didn't think of it as a label of racism. It was only later when I grew up and go,
Wait a
that's
second.
a thing.
What about your parents? Did they ever experience racism?
They did experience quite a bit of racism, but for them it's more like, oh, people don't like me, so they're calling me names. How do I find bigger swear words to say back to them? So my dad, I remembered he used to be like, how do you say this word? It's like dickhead, dickhead. Like my dad was just like really...
Sorry, it's awful that he was going through that, but it rules that an 8-year-old is teaching it. Yeah,
their father how to swear. And I think for them it's they still feel sometimes they're a foreigner in this country, so therefore there's no reason for them to say anything about it because they feel grateful for being here, but at the same time not speaking out means that it's okay. So that's sort of the dilemma when it comes to feeling like the other.
When people ask you, where are you from, what do you say?
It depends on the people, right? Sometimes I feel like, can't I just be myself? Like, can't you just connect with me just like not with my ethnicity and just as a human? So that's sort of sometimes in the back of my head.
Do you ever feel like you get typecast in roles?
All the time. I don't know how many prostitute roles I've auditioned for.
Oh boy.
That's why I love doing like a lot of the action genre stuff. That's my favorite because I'm not seen as, you know, a sidekick, you know, in the Australian narrative. I can be potentially seen as a lead. I think my generation, because we didn't grow up in Vietnam, we grew up in another country, We call ourselves Australians, but there is sometimes a sense that we're not. I want to be able to tell stories that showcase that we are also a part of this country, a part of society, and we can contribute.
Maria, it's been a pleasure to meet you and fight you and have you protect me. So thanks so much.
No worries, anytime.